This week on the corner, we're going to look at the tools you need to modify a printer. Next. Hey guys, it's me, Jeff. Welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. Lately, I've been working on a new hot end for the linear rail here on this. Here, let's see if I can spin you around a little bit here on this Tronxy here. But what I thought is that we've looked at the odd tool here and there in the different videos, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a show and tell on a lot of the tools you use whenever you're doing one of these mods, be it putting in a new motherboard or wiring in a new fan, or any real work that you need to do with your printer and stuff like that. So let's have a quick little show and tell, shall we, folks? So I have an old motherboard here. It's got a bad temperature sensor on it, but I thought I'd use this for a little bit of demo, talking about some of these tools. Okay, so let's go through them now. So one of the most important tools you're going to need is you're going to need a multimeter, okay? It's great for checking continuity, voltages. I happen to have a set that interchanges the alligator clips and the standard probes. So depending on what you're doing, I would suggest getting one that has the Allen clips available. But you can also buy separately the wires with a couple different attachments for here. So that's something to look into. But definitely you're going to need a multimeter, okay? Whenever you're doing wiring and stuff like that on one of these boards, I've shown this tool before, but it's a simple wire cutter, wire stripper, and it's just... I love it. It makes my job so much easier. Here's just a piece of wire, and you can just basically cut it to the length you want and then strip off a little bit and you're good to go, right? It's that easy. It's 1, 2, 3. Now, speaking of wire, what I have here is actually silicone wire. I have a box. It's this is electrical wire kit, but it's silicone wire, okay? Now, with silicone wire, with the regular wire that you get with these printers, it's usually it's quite thin and flimsy, and there's not a lot of a big strand count on the inside. I don't know if you can focus on that. Where are we here? Let's see here. Autofocus. So you're going to have, come on, there we go. So you see how the strand count is much higher on the inside of these wires. Now, with a 3D printer, everything's constantly in motion. It moves up and down, back and forth, the hot ends and stuff like that. So if you have the opportunity to use silicone wire, use silicone wire. A solder station. This is just an inexpensive solder station. It's got some helping hands and stuff, which is really easy to use because you would just put the end of your wires together in your helping hands, and it would help you solder them together, right? Now, I just use a cheap solder gun and stuff. If you guys have a recommendation for a good solder station setup and solder gun, let me know. Try to make sure you have a thermostat on it for temperature control. It'll make your job a lot easier. And again, I'm no soldering expert by any means whatsoever. I don't know anything about soldering. I'm a horrible solderer. That's why I'm not even going to do a demo for soldering for you guys, because I am absolutely brutal at soldering here. Let's see if we can get all this in frame. There we go. Okay, so we got our multimeter here. Let's turn that around so we know that's a multimeter. There we go. And wiring tools. Here, I'm now knurling like Adam Savage way, right? It's crazy. Okay. After that, let's see here. So you've got all this stuff together. You've got your motherboard. You've got your multimeter. You're cutting your wires and stuff like that. Okay. So typically with your boards, you'll see a lot of, in your hot ends and your hotbeds and stuff like that, all your leads in will either be direct wire or they'll be soldered, they'll be tinned is what it's called. They'll have a little bit of solder in there and they'll be screwed in. Now, tins, bare wires, not good. Tin wires are a little bit better, but still not great. And it will loosen up over time, basically. So what you want to do is, whenever you're doing leads and stuff that go into these screw-in terminals here, you're going to want to get yourself a ferrule kit, okay? Let's see here. So if we take a ferrule kit here, and then it comes with a wrench for that too, or whatever, a ferrulizer. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, basically, this is a typical ferrule kit. Comes with all different sizes of ferrules. This is like I think this is like a 22 gauge wire here. So is that the white one? So basically what you're going to do is once you've stripped your wire, you'll stick it into the end of said ferrule, being very careful that you do not have loose ends or anything. And then you just simply take your ferrule tool, line it up, and squish it down. Then you will have your ferrule, just like that. And that's it. And this is basically, as far as I know, one of the safer ways to do this right now. So, and then you would just simply insert your ferrule in, and you would tighten up, be it your hot end or your power leads or whatever going in, right? But yeah, so get yourself a ferrule kit, right? That's fairly decent. Next, so one of the things you're going to need is a JST kit or JST connector kit, okay? If you're hooking up fans or whatever, that's all these little connections here. So you're going to make sure you're going to need to know what your pitch is, because there's different spaces between your pins, okay? And basically that's this tool right here, okay? And basically these kits will come with a bunch of different connectors for whatever you need. I have, let me pull this out here. So this is a 2-pin connector, usually used for fans or whatnot. And it would generally go into one of these connections here, right? Just like that. So you'll need to put an end on it. The ends typically come on a strip like this. How I end up doing them, I usually end up just taking them off. Let me have a look at here. So yeah, so here, let me just clean this end up here. That might be a little too long. So you take your wiring, you basically give it a couple of mils, and then you pull it off, so you got a nice little end there. Typically I will take my end now, pardon me here for a second here, because I'm old and blind and I'm trying to do this without with a camera in front of my face, basically, in a nutshell, right? So what you want to do is, hang on here, is so what I do is basically, I had to pull it up to my face, I'm sorry, but I basically just mount the, here, can you see that? I put the end in, and I tighten it slightly, and then you have the hole. Here, I'll try and do a close-up of this in a few minutes. Through that side, and you take your wire, and you thread it in, and then you will just finish crimping it down. And that should be it, and that should give you a decent connection. Whereas you see the hang on, let's see here. The first crimp is on the black wire sleeve, and then the second crimp's on the wiring itself, and that will allow you to use one of these guys here and just slide that puppy in, and then you'll actually see it just snap in right into that. All right. And then once that's in and you're secure, you can just plug that into your connector. So yeah, so that is the JST crimper connector. Gets those together. The ferrule connector gets those together. The soldering, oh, with the soldering iron, you're also going to need heat shrink, right, to attach your wires together, and a lighter. I use a lighter. You can use a heat gun or whatever. It's just really simple. You're going to need a decent set of Allen keys. I need a decent set of Allen keys. You'll find that the ends tend to round after a while and stuff. So if anybody has a suggestion for a decent set of Allen keys for me, that would be awesome. Another thing, an assorted set of usually M3, M4s, M5s. This happens to be a kit of M3s. But yeah, because you're going to drop stuff, you know, you're going to lose stuff. You're going to be like, oh, I need to hook this up and I don't have room for it. So yeah, get yourself a multi-kit like this. So those are a lot of tools that I generally use whenever I modify one of my printers. Now, it's not all the tools, but it gives you a really good base line, okay? Now, again, if you guys can help me out, and if you guys can put in the comments a decent set of Allen keys or a decent solder and solder station that I can use, that would be fantastic. But everything else, if you have it in your toolkit, you know, you're going to use it. If you plan on doing any of these mods, just, you know, don't go out and buy everything at once. A lot of the stuff you can kind of, you know, get by without. But, you know, if you're going to do this as part of your hobby for like a long time and you're enjoying doing it, like I am, please, by all means, have a look at all these things. I'll try to link some stuff down below. Some of it's older. I might link something that's similar to it. And again, these are affiliate links. I just want to say thank you so much. If you're cruising through the channel, if anything in the video helped you out, give me a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe, okay? And until next time, guys, keep modding.